That doesn't mean it's doesn't mean we don't go there, okay, or we try to avoid it because there's no way to avoid it. It means we will go and traverse it in good condition, okay. And then after we go on this secondary ridge where the rock is a little bit loose, but again it's easy. There's some wires. I mean, there's nothing complicated. It can be, you will see on the next pictures, it can be either very dry, so all rock, or it can be, as the picture the picture here, it can be snowy. So you can either climb it with crampons on or with crampons off. Okay. Let's see some pictures. So this is taken from almost the top of the Aiguille du Gouty, looking down. If you take the left picture, the Tête hut, so the hut of the day one is here. So you see up, you can see the track going up here, and that's where we cross the couloir. You can guess the couloir here, okay? And then you go up in this kind of terrain. So here on the left picture, both pictures are taken almost from the same area. And you can see the left one, the upper section is snowy, so you have crampons on. And on the right, by the way, just a quick note, it's my two kids. I took them 2 years ago to climb Mont Blanc, late August. They were 13, almost 13 and 14 and a half. So you see, even kids can do it if they are well prepared. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Next picture. So the famous couloir. I think it's important I tell you how it is because you heard of it. Yes, that's true. It's a dangerous area in dry condition. So you can. I took 3 different pictures showing you different conditions because mountaineering is always like this, and in the mountains it's always up to the condition. You can take the same place in different condition. It can be super easy and you think, what's wrong with it? And you can go in bad condition and you will be, no, it's impossible to go, it's not safe. And it's the same place. The couloir, it's the same thing. You take the bottom right picture, it's snowy, there's a big track. You can see there's no track of rockfall in the snow. I mean, it's pretty safe. There's no big deal. I mean, if you don't fall out of the track, then it's fine. Okay, so this is mainly in the early season. In the middle of the season, it's a mix of snow. The top right picture, you can see it's a mix of snow, a little bit of rock and ice. And at this time, you start to make sure you will cross the couloir in good condition, which means for us as professional and people who knows, like in cold condition, you want to cross the couloir when temperature are still cold. Like this, you avoid the risk of big rockfall. Okay, and then the picture on the left is when it's totally dry. So there's no snow. So you walk, it's almost like a trail, but you can obviously guess that if a little rock start falling from here, it will go down here on you. So when you traverse this part, you try to be quick. You try to make sure you don't fall because there's quite a big couloir on your right. But you make sure you don't fall. You try to be quick, but not too fast. There's a big difference, huh? Not too fast. You cross it, and then once you're on this side, then it's much safer, okay? We are rupted. As soon as from Refuge de Tête we are all rupted. So I just want to add also that you climb with your guide, okay? So the guide will tell you when to cross, if it's safe to cross, how to do and how to manage it safely. So trust him because he's with you. So if it's not safe, if there's any kind of risk of taking a big rock on your face or on you, I mean, it's the same risk that the guide will take with you. Okay, we are together on it. So keep in mind that if it's not safe, then we will tell you because we take the same risk. Okay. So now that's the Goutte couloir, and I think that's the most famous part of the ascent for not good reason. and I think it's no good to move for to some maybe nicer picture and to show you what Mont Blanc is famous for. Quickly, that's sorry, picture of Tetrus hut in snowy conditions, so June probably. Okay, so it's not as dry as the other pictures. This is again ascent of the Goûter. So couloir, you can see the couloir. So here, so it's still my two kids on the picture. It is quite dry. It's very dry, even there's no snow. So we climbed up without crampons. So it was honestly very easy. And it was late August. So late August, I mean, this face is west facing. So as soon as you get in the afternoon, it takes the sun, and that's where it's could be tricky when it warms up, because the rockfall start when it's warmer. But then at the second part of the summer, so after I would say August 20th, temperature drops down, and even if you're under the sun, it can be very dry, but very safe also. Okay, again, Goûter ascent. So again, my two kids. So you see, it's easy rock scrambling. It's not even a grade. I mean, if you guys, some of you know the rock climbing grades, it's impossible to give you. It's like 5-4. Okay, it's easy scrambling. There's nothing difficult. It's trickier on the way down, because usually human are like this. It's easier for us to climb up than to climb down. But I mean, it's easy. There's some wires, there's some equipments at some point, so there's no big deal. Okay, so so here the picture on the left, my two kids on top of Aiguille du Goûter. So it's after we have finished with the most technical part, and we get to a snowy ridge. You can see in the background the Goûter hut. So with my kids, I did it in 2 days. So that's mean we climbed all the way to Goûter in 1 day, slept at the Goûter hut, and then climbed Mont Blanc, and then all the way back down. Okay. If you do it in 3 days, you arrive at Goûter early in the morning. So you can stop by, leave some equipment that you don't need, water, food, I don't know. You can get a coffee, and then you leave what you have to leave at the Goûter, the hut, and then you climb Dôme du Goûter, and you keep going. Okay. So when you keep going, you climb Dôme du Goûter. So Dôme du Goûter, at this point, you start dealing with altitude. Huh? Refuge du Goûter, so Goûter hut is at 3,800 meters. And Dôme du Goûter, the big round summit, is at, as it's written, 4,300. Easy walking. It's quite a long, easy slope. I mean, there's nothing particular. You can see on the right picture, nothing special. Okay, it goes quickly. No, it doesn't go quickly, but it goes well. There's nothing special. This is the same picture when we started from Goûter at night, because when you do it in 2 days, so you start from Goûter at 3 p.m. My two kids. Okay, from Dôme du Goûter, it's a big round summit. Then you go down a little bit. There's a huge flat part. This is the picture on the left. This place is very tricky if you get caught in the bad weather. And then you're gonna pass by here. You can see it. It's this little square thing is the hut on the right picture. It's called Abri Valo, or Observatory Valo. It's historically, it's a scientific observatory that was built on the last piece of rock going up Mont Blanc. There was 2 scientists fighting to study things on top of Mont Blanc. One called Janssen set up a little shelter on top of Mont Blanc that obviously, because it was on the ice, didn't stay one winter. It was broken by the glacier and collapsed. And Valo built his observatory on this little piece of rock, and it's still there. So the right picture is the shelter. It's again, it's shelter. So that means it's just a box where it was designed and was built just to go there in case of bad weather, in case of problem. But it's not a hut. We don't sleep there. because there's nothing. Okay, in case of trouble you can, but there is nothing. The Valo is 4,300 meters, and then the route goes all the way up the Arête des Bosses, which means bumpy ridge, because there's 3 big bumps, and the last one is top of Mont Blanc. The last part, so this is from Valo all the way to Mont Blanc, is the most difficult part physically, because you're getting tired, because it's the end, because it's high. You can feel the altitude. And yes, this is mentally, yeah, you have to push yourself. I mean, from here, if the conditions are good, there's no reason you don't reach the summit, but you have to believe in it. Okay, so this is a picture of my 2 boys. We made a stop in the shelter in the Valo, because when we climbed it, it was very cold, a little bit windy. So we went inside, get changed, put some warmer clothes, get a drink, and then went back on again. Okay, this is a little video of how it looks like on the ridge. So this is on the, so it's above Valo. There's the first bump, we call it. So the video is, yeah, it's this. Very short one. I'm sorry. Okay, this is taken a little bit above. So the video was taken a little bit above the light that you can see here. The Valo shelter is here on this rock, and those are my boys below the summit. You can see the lights of the valley under the clouds over there. And Dôme de Goûter is this bit. Okay, this is same picture almost, but taking towards the summit. You can see the first part is going up, the first bump, and really the route follows the ridge all the way up. So of course we avoid crevasse and we go through it, but the route really follows up and down the ridge. That's the bump, the Arête des Bosses. Same thing, we are closer to the summit. The summit is over there. You can see the snow blowing from it. It's hard at this moment. It's a little bit hard because you're tired, and you always think, because at the end it goes like this, and you always think the summit is there, and the summit is there, and no, it's always a bump, and then there's another one. So it's a little bit tricky, but then you in the morning, in early morning, you have the sun. You get the first. We are the first on Mont Blanc because it's the highest to get the sun, and it's really warm. Well, really warm. It makes you feel really warm, much warmer. It's really nice. The view is just stunning, and it's every time I've climbed it a couple times, but every single time it's something. I mean, it's emotional. Okay, and then we get to almost closer to the summit. So there's like, yeah, this is my 2 boys again. The last step on the final ridge. Yeah, they were happy. It was really cold. So the last part gets to a ridge, okay, and then the ridge widens, and the summit that you see over there at the end is quite, it's wide. I mean, there's some room. So you can see, so the right picture is taken. So the picture on your right, yeah, it's going up. Okay, so the summit is behind me, and the left picture is the opposite. So the 2 guys are already at the summit. Okay, you can see on the right picture, you can see the shade of Mont Blanc when the sun rises. Okay, in the morning, the sun wakes up from there, so it makes a big shade in the valley that we can see from the top. Incredible. And those are pictures of the summit. So yeah, very nice pictures. I like them. As you can see, so the top large picture, you can see it's quite wide. I mean, the summit is not, I mean, it's not like a point. It's wide. There's quite some room. So it depends on the condition. You can stay a little bit. I have to say that it's pretty rare that you get to the top without wind, without being cold. So since you're walking for a couple hours, you're tired. So as soon as you stop, I mean, you get cold. So usually, even if you want to stay and you would like to stay more and enjoy the view, well, it's a 10-15 minute break and we take a drink, we congratulate and make some pictures, enjoy the view, and then we have to turn around and go back down to the hut. Okay. One little funny fact, it's 2 years ago, the bottom pictures on the right, bottom right, it's a couple. So a couple that I took to Mont Blanc. It was a very tricky day because it was very windy. So when we did it, because the condition were, the weather forecast was pretty bad. So we did it straight from the train. So we started from the train, went up to Goûter. We stopped at the Goûter hut. We had a drink, something to eat. And then I took the weather forecast, and the weather forecast for the next day, when we were supposed to climb, were very bad, very windy. So I told them, they were strong people. I told them, I think tomorrow it's not going to work. It's going to be too windy. The forecast was like 100 kilometers per hour at 4,000 meters. And I told them, might be a window this afternoon, so we could try this afternoon. And they said, okay, but let's go. So we left in the afternoon and went up to the top with quite windy condition, but it was an incredible moment because the guy proposed his girlfriend on the summit of Mont Blanc. So it was it was really emotional, and was really happy to be able to share that with them. Okay, I think I know that's a short video of the summit, what you can see from the summit. So left side, so this side we can see Chamonix all the way down, and then we go back to Saint-Gervais. Okay, but that's the couple that the guy proposed. This side, well, you can't see much, but this is Italy. We are going down to Italy, Courmayeur, and then back to France. Okay, so to sum up, important. So if there's one thing I'd like you to remember is Mont Blanc is not a difficult technical ascent. It's not. But it still remains a big committed ascent, meaning that Mont Blanc is not an easy summit. No, it's not. I'm sorry if you guys thought that. It's not. It's technically easy. It's accessible, but it's not easy to climb it. And every single people that will tell you it's easy, it's because they have forgotten the bad and the pain from it. And mountaineering is usually about that. Okay, we sometimes when we climb, and I'm really honest with that, we are like, what the hell I'm doing here? Why am I doing this? Why? And the question comes, and the answer, sorry, comes few hours later when it's over, or a few days later when you have done it and you climb it, and it's a reward to feel that you have pushed yourself and you have done it, and it was hard, yes, but this is forgotten, and you just remember the great thing. Okay, so I think it's important because the first on the logistic, there's weather and condition, and for me this is something very important to share. We never, and I cannot tell you, I will take you to Mont Blanc. It doesn't work like this. If you sign up for a trip to climb Mont Blanc with me, I will not take you up there for sure. This is not possible. Climbing a mountain is up to the weather, up to the condition of the mountain. So take it as when we get to a summit, when we have this chance of succeeding. It's so great, but it's because the mountain let us. Okay, we do everything possible. We train, we try to look at the weather, and we organize everything to have the maximum chance of success. But then at the end, the mountain decide. Always, whatever you do, Mont Blanc, Everest, K2, Easy Summit, this is the mountain. Okay. So this is why it's also important to make sure you want to share it with some friends, and you want to have a great experience, because even if you don't reach the summit, it will be a great experience. And sometimes not reaching the summit is even a better experience than reaching. So the two first point on my slide, we cannot control them, and we have to accept this is the rule of alpinism, and this is how it works, and this is why it's so famous, and this is why also we like it, because it's never sure. It's not like I'm gonna play tennis. Yes, go and play tennis. That's gonna work, but climbing Mont Blanc, it's never sure. Okay. And then the other 2 points, acclimatization and fitness, you can control it. Fitness, it's about training, it's about getting ready. And climbing Mont Blanc is not about being the fastest. And I'm not asking you to be able to run 3 marathons in less than 2 hours. Okay, it's not about that. But definitely the summit day, you're going to walk in altitude for 8 to 12 hours. That's how it's going to be. So you need to be able to do it. Okay, you need to be trying to do that. So it's important, because sometimes I've tried to climb the summit with some people doing lots of sports, but like very intense and short sports, like squash, tennis, sometimes these kind of things. And they were not trained to walk for hours, not very fast, but you have to keep on going. That's the main thing. And acclimatization is really, really important. We are, unfortunately, all of us different. We all react different. And it's not because we have been once in altitude that we won't get sick another time. So this is something very tricky. And this is, I would say, if you put on the side the weather problem, acclimatization is the main reason of failure. It's people coming to Paris, they live at 0 or 300 meters, and they come, the next day they sleep at the Goûter Hut, they're sick. Okay, so this is why you'll see later, our trip is designed to avoid that. Okay. Quickly, the booking, so the periods June to September, I would try to avoid the warmest part of the summer, like that is to say, August, beginning of August, mid-August. Sometimes if it's a warm summer, it gets complicated at the Couloir du Goûter. But otherwise, it's this. The other thing is like book as early as you can, because the problem is to get spots at the huts. It's so popular that, yeah. The good thing is that there's many other things to do. So if Mont Blanc doesn't work, you can climb. You can go ice climbing on the glacier. You can do this one. It's called Fret des Charmeaux. This one is called Aiguille de Bionnassay. So there's many other things you can do, and it could be one step before maybe pushing to Mont Blanc. Okay, those pictures are stuff we did. So the one on the left is Aiguille du Tour with my boys. The one on the right is Aiguille Crochue with the Mont Blanc behind. It's 2 beginners. So you see, it's easy rock climbing, but it's how you get used to and ready to climb Mont Blanc. The one on after with the 3 boys, it's a summit in Switzerland called Pollux, between Zermatt and Italy in Cervinia. And the last one on the right, where you can see the people almost flying in front of Mont Blanc, it's a Via Ferrata above Chamonix. It's just to show you that there's many things to do. Okay, so even if Mont Blanc doesn't work, or because of weather, or because there's many other options, and it's important to have that in mind. Quickly above our 7-day program. So the program we proposed through 57 is designed to 3 things. First, of course, the purpose is the goal is Mont Blanc. Okay, so to put you in the best condition to climb Mont Blanc, but you have to train before. But that means you will get on day 1 used to the equipment and how to walk with crampons, because the less things you have to worry about when you climb Mont Blanc, the more energy you have to focus on your fitness and to go up. Okay, if I've been climbing 8,000 meters. I saw people fighting to put their crampons on. If you lose energy in altitude, it's wasted, and so you won't have this energy to reach the summit. And that's also true for Mont Blanc. So day one, it's mer de glace, and we'll do some fun stuff as this, for example. So this is ice climbing on the Mer de Glace glacier. So we go down in a crevasse or in a what we call moulin, so where the water digs some holes, and we go and climb it. Of course, you don't need to do that to climb Mont Blanc, but it's just fun to try, and it gives you confidence with the crampons and the ice axe. Okay, sorry. Day 2 and 3, we will go climb another training peak, which is already a 4,000 meter peak in Italy. So it's an hour and a half by car from Chamonix. It's called Grand Paradiso. It's more or less a little Mont Blanc. When I say little, it's not small. Huh? It's same kind of physically, it's very similar, and it will give you a very good idea of what's going to be Mont Blanc. And you will sleep one night in a hut at almost 3,000 meters, and we will reach 4,000 meters. That will give you acclimatization. That will show you, tell your body, hey guy, you will have to work with the altitude. Okay. So day one on Grand Paradiso is we're gonna go to the hut. So Chabot, it's a hike to the hut, 900 meters, 2-3 hours, easy. Day 2, we start from the hut. We go all the way up to Grand Paradiso. So the green, I think this day, this is a GPS track, and I think this day the weather was bad and I had to turn around a little bit below the summit. But anyway, the summit is there, and then we go all the way back down. Okay, you have a picture of the summit on your right with the Virgin. Grand Paradiso is the only 4,000 meter peak entirely in Italy. So this is a picture of how it looks like. The hut, the Chabot hut is somewhere over there. Okay. And this is Mont Blanc, view from the south, so Italian face. Okay. So glacier, walk. The only technical and a little bit impressive thing is the final ridge. So we come from the glacier like this, and then we follow the ridge, which is a little bit rocky at the end, but it's really nice. So that's again a picture of the summit with the Madonna, and that's a little video of how it looks like from the top. So it's a very popular summit. There's nothing technically, it's very easier than Mont Blanc, and it gives you a good idea of what it's going to be. Okay, again a picture. This picture is to show you why we use the rope on the glacier, because we walk on crevasses, and you can see this one was pretty thin. I was kind of whoa, and in case the snow bridge, this part we call it a snow bridge, it breaks, then we are roped it, and so we don't go all the way down, and it's easier to get you out. Okay, then day 4, it's a rest day, usually on our program. I say usually because there's different options. Either you're super strong and you want to do something, then it's possible, and we add extra activities. It's a rest day, you rest and it's fine. Or the weather, the condition makes it say that it could be good to use it to go straight to Mont Blanc. Okay, but then let's say theoretically it's a rest day. And day 5, 6, 7, 7, sorry. So it's Mont Blanc ascent in 3 days. Okay. I think I'm getting to the end. So that's a screenshot, sorry, of the 57-hour booking page. So you can see our trip if you want to book it. So the last thing, maybe 2 more things I'm going to say. We propose it as a private trip, meaning that I have 24 years of experience. And let me tell you, then there's nothing harder than turning around close to the summit because of someone you don't know. Meaning that we don't form groups. We want you to sign up either alone, and we'll take you alone, there's no problem, or as a group of friends, a family, but two people that know each other, that share the same goal and are willing to share the same experience. Okay, because otherwise it's too complicated. Okay, you don't, people that doesn't know each other may have not the same expectation, and we want, for me, it's important that you go back down with a great experience, whether you reach the summit or not. And